What's going on, everyone? This is the Popcorn Heroes review of Insecure Season 4, Episode 9. We're one away. We're right there, guys. We're right there. I am Armando. With me today is, back for the first time, Mike.
Hey.
What up, what up? And God's gift, Orlando.
Yo.
Just pray for Orlando, baby. So what's going on, everyone? Did you... Wait. Oh, fuck. Anyways, as we usually do, we just go straight into it. Spoilers everywhere. It's not a spoiler-free discussion. We're going to jump right into the episode and we're going to discuss shit that happened. And if you didn't know, Insecure is on HBO. If you gotten this far and you have no idea where you find it, but that's where it is. Alright, let's start it, guys. How did you like the episode?
Another solid episode. Another more reasons to hate Molly. And Molly is so trash, man. Why does anybody want to be her friend? I don't understand it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just like, what's wrong with her? You know, Issa was trying, and like, you had the conversation, like, you know, oh, she didn't want to talk about it, but then you had the conversation, and in the end, you're like, yeah, I don't think we should be friends. And then you're expecting Issa like to blow up on her or say something, and then Issa just walked away, and then she was just kind of like staring, like, I'm just like, okay.
It's more look of like, oh, why aren't you fighting for this? Or like, why? Like, this is
that's what I'm saying.
This is like one of the times that like I agree with you guys about like facial expressions. Like, you guys been reading them all season, and this one was clearly like, oh, you're just gonna take my
exactly
breakup.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
like, that's it. You're gonna take it like that, and I'm just like, who else? Who the fuck is gonna fight for that? Like, you just told me right now that you think we shouldn't be friends. Well, I'm gonna be like, but why? I don't think so. Like, I'm not gonna say that shit. I'm like, oh, you don't think we should be friends?
Especially,
cool,
especially when like Issa gave her an opening, like yo, like, yeah, I know there's a lot to talk about, so let's talk about it. And instead, she was just like, nah. Yeah, nah, we're good. We don't need to talk about this, and I don't think we should work this out. So it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, as the season has gone, this whole season, it's gotten more apparent that Molly definitely has some issues when it comes to, like, it just seems like she wants the whole world to revolve around her, or to people to understand what her, like, she wants, like, mind readers at this point. Like, you know, she wants people to just understand her without her doing the work of like saying like, hey, this is what I need, or this is what I want, or this is how I feel.
Yeah. It was like what her boyfriend was telling her, like, hey man, like, you should talk to Issa about this, and she was getting upset with her boyfriend because he was telling her that you should talk to Issa about it. And it's just kind of like, wait, you come in here saying that she didn't want to talk about it, and then I'm telling you, oh, you should have brought it up, and you're getting mad at me because I'm telling you should talk about it.
It's like, never good enough for her.
Why? Like, I'm never gonna get anywhere with you.
I really don't think at this point, like, I've been saying it from the beginning of the season that I think Andrew and Molly were endgame, but now, man, like, she needs to, like, I can see the last episode of them being breaking up. Like,
yeah, I can see that too.
There's just so many moments already where like he has to come in and save the day, and I think he's getting tired of it because you could tell he's getting frustrated. But also like she's not listening. Like, even the small moment of like he's just like, yo, I thought we were gonna order Indian food. He's like, nah, I got the food that this Chinese food that I like. So it's like, and he had a face like, alright, like there was no discussion with me about like,
fuck my opinion.
Fuck what I got to say, or like what I wanted. Like, okay.
And like, fuck the agreement we made. Like, we agreed that we're gonna get Indian, and then all of a sudden you change it up without even telling me that you're changing it up. That's kind of
right,
like,
exactly
cool.
Yeah, like those are,
and especially at that point, like, she's not willing to help situations. Like when he was telling her that, oh, my brother invited us to the game.
Exactly.
And then she was just like, no, you could go. And then they started talking about it later. And I'm like, but he invited, like, after it all happened, and they were about to eat the Indian food that he didn't clearly want. And he was like, you know, you can't avoid my brother forever. Like, he's my brother. You guys gonna have to talk about this at some point. And then she clearly was like thinking, oh, I'm gonna avoid this whole conversation all the time, every time. And like, I'm never gonna confront this. So it's kind of like you're not even helping out your own relationship. Like, you want your relationship to only be about you. Yeah. But yet when this guy is telling you, hey man, like, my brother's in my life for the rest of my life. Like, he's my brother. Like, I would like you guys. I just want you guys to talk about it. Like, just come together, come to an agreement. I don't need you to love each other. I don't need you to do anything of that. I just need you guys to talk about it. Like, because I'm not gonna have this shit for the rest of our lives. And he's still not even willing to talk about it. You know, it's
not even a little bit. Do you guys notice though that whenever Andrew's on the phone and Molly walks in, he gets off the phone every single time? You think there's something behind that?
I think he's talking to his brother because he's talking Korean, or what is it? Is it Korean?
Mandarin.
So he's Chinese?
Let me stop.
So is he Chinese or is he Korean? I don't remember what
I believe he's Chinese.
So, and then I think he's just talking. I think since he's talking to his brother, he knows that they're not like they don't agree with each other.
But this was even before like her and his brother had like an issue. He's done it every single time. It might just be something small, but it's just weird that he like immediately, he doesn't even say, "Oh, Molly's here, I gotta go." He just, "I gotta go, bye."
I mean, I think I don't think there's any like slick shit on the side or like anything like that. He doesn't seem like the type of person to do that. I just think that it's probably kind of like a culture thing of like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm talking to you right now and she's here. She might think a certain thing. She might think I'm talking about her. She might think I'm complaining about something. So to make everything he does seems to be geared to around making her comfortable and making her like happy. Yeah. You know? So like he'll back off of a conversation because it makes her uncomfortable. He'll go to the game and she doesn't want to go because it makes her uncomfortable. Like everything he seems to be doing, like it seems like he's walking on eggshells all the time. Like he tries to bring up a conversation, she gets upset, he apologizes. Like he seems like he hasn't even vocalized exactly how he feels about everything.
Sounds like every relationship ever.
Yo, you need to do better, Mike. You need to do better. Like, all right, like that's insane. I agree. Sometimes that does happen, but
nah, man, it's not sometimes. I think you're delusional.
Yeah, Mike needs better relationships.
I think if you ask most guys, they would agree. That's how shit goes.
Most guys, what? That they're just walking on eggshells all the time?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way, though.
You're right. It shouldn't. In a rational, logical world, it wouldn't be that way.
So my question is, you know, when Issa and this guy, I forgot his name right now, Nathan, when they walk into the apartment and they were gonna stay for food. So I didn't understand that interaction. Was it an Asian bae who wanted them to stay? Was it Molly? Like I don't understand that look they were giving each other.
I don't think any of them wanted to stay. I think it was kind of like, this is awkward. Like I think Molly didn't want them to stay because it was Issa was there, and I think Andrew was kind of like, this is awkward. I guess I should invite you guys just to be nice. I think that's what it was. Like, I'm gonna say like, hey, you guys should come, but I really don't want this to happen. I think neither one wanted them to stay. They were just trying to be polite.
That's the vibe I got. But then
yeah. What I don't get is like, how do you text Issa like, oh, how do you text the wrong number? Like,
you've never done
that? I know that happens, but come on, dude. Like when I'm about to text something like that, like somebody else might not like, or like something like this might ruffle some feathers up, I kind of check to see who I'm texting.
Nah, man, you be thinking that's the last person you text and you just send a message.
What I'm curious about is, so Issa must have been her first message in her message list, right? Because when you send messages, it jumps to the top. So has she been texting Issa since the last time they saw each other?
Well, it could have been like, hey, don't forget, I'm gonna stop by to pick up like Nathan's boxes or something. It could have been like something like that, like something like nonchalant, like, yeah, don't forget, I'm gonna be here later. Or it could be like, hey, it was nice talking to you today after they met up. You know, that literally could have been the messages. Maybe it wasn't anything too crazy. It could have been like, hey, thanks for coming to brunch, or hey, I'm gonna stop by later on today and pick it up. It doesn't seem like they've been having an open communication. So those could be the last messages that she got from Issa.
Makes sense.
And the whole wine part, what was that same thing? Like, you guys should leave, or when Andrew gets up to get more wine, and Molly was just like, oh, or, that weird interaction they had. Was it that Andrew wanted them to leave, or Andrew was like, oh, look how much fun you guys are having, or
I'm not sure
what's happening there?
I think he was trying to encourage it, but Molly was just waiting for them to leave. That's what it looked like to me.
It seemed like now that they were here, it was kind of like, hey, like, they're here, let's not be rude. I think like we've been saying so far, Andrew walks on eggshells. He kind of tries to be very polite, so it seemed like he was just trying to be like, cordial and like, be a good host, like, all right, I'll get some more wine, hey, we're gonna having a good time. And also, like, I think Andrew understands, like, oh, this is a good time for you and Molly to this is a good time for you and Issa to make up, so I'm going to allow this to continue because it's important that you guys, like, become friends, maintain your friendship. And that's why I think that's why Molly caught that and was like, okay, let me text Andrew and tell him that I am trying. I think that's why, like, she caught, like, she caught that he was saying that, like, hey, like, this is a good thing, let's keep this going, like, don't be so dismissive.
I guess she wasn't trying hard enough.
No. Molly's so dumb.
Yeah. At this point, I because the whole season I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, oh man, shit was happening, but this is kind of curious. Just like, yeah, Molly is shit, dude. And like, after all the shit you've always talked about, people leaving you and leaving your life, now you're the one who's leaving people's lives, and then you're upset because they leave, or you're pushing them away, essentially.
Yeah.
Because you spent all these seasons being, oh man, everybody leaves me, like, nobody wants to be with me, like, all this and this shit. And now that you're at a point where you could fix one of the most important relationships you had throughout your life, you just don't give a fuck, and you're pushing that person further away. So then she's gonna feel bad at some point, like, oh, she didn't, like, I don't know, like, Molly is always, I feel like she's consistently contradicting herself and playing the victim game every single time that it happens.
Yeah, I just think she's not self-aware of what she's doing, and I think that, like, I agree. I think she does play the victim. She doesn't see what she's doing, nor does she see the other side of it. Cause like we seen like that Issa was like, yo, let me call Molly to vent, not to like catch up or to like whatever. I need to vent about my Lawrence and Nate situation, so let me call her. And Issa caught herself being like, oh shit, like, I'm calling you for like myself, for like my own self, for like my own benefit, not our benefit, not our mutual benefit, not our friendship. I'm calling you because I'm being selfish in this way. And Issa caught herself thinking that way, and she course corrected. Like, all right, you know what? I thought about calling you. Let me call you anyway. Let me set up a brunch. And then, like, those conversations are awkward. So I give it up to Issa being like, hey, the brunch is here, and like, like, this is not like a Lawrence and Issa thing where like it's been a year already and like the tension has died down. Like, they still have tension, so they need them. That's why it wasn't brought up. Like, there's still tension in the air. I think if like they met in like later on in months later, they could have had the same conversation, like the coming to Jesus conversation of like, what is happening between us? Like, what happened between us? But I think since Molly's aware and Issa's aware of like, this is still in the air, it's hard to talk about. So Issa did not talk about it. But at the end of the day, like, yo, she invited you out. If you wanted to talk about it, she did have to work. Like,
yeah, she did have to work. At that point, it's up to you to give the other half.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, you're super. That's right. Because she did the effort of actually calling her and be like, hey, we should hang out, we should talk, we should, spend some time or whatever. And I think it was up to Molly to start that conversation.
Yeah, but leaving it up to Molly,
either one of them could have, right? Anyone could have, but I think if someone did half of the work, you should put in the other half.
Yeah, it only makes sense.
Yeah, especially when like she was talking to Andrew and she was just like, she wasn't understanding it. She was like, oh, why should I bring it up or whatever? And it's just like, whenever anyone invites you out after a period of time of like just a disconnect, it's clear that like they want to patch things up, even if it feels fake or not. Like, like the fact that we are hanging out is a sign of like, hey, let's bury this under the hatchet. So it mind boggles me that she just didn't see it that way. She saw it more of like Issa Issa's just trying to be like, not bring it up. Issa's just trying to like forget this ever happened. Like Issa's trying to make it work. Like you're looking at it through like a negative lens.
That's true. How do you guys feel about the relationship with Issa and man, what's his name? Oh, I forgot his name. Lawrence. How do you feel that's going?
I mean, they seem to. I don't know if they're back where they were or at a new level, but they seem like they have a pretty deeper connection now. I just don't know how it's gonna work with him. I guess moving to San Fran, because it looks like he's pretty much got a new job in the bag.
Yeah, I do hope that Lawrence leaves though.
You don't hope he stays and he chooses love over his job?
No. I think Lawrence is on a growth path, right? We've been talking about this for the past few episodes, and I feel like if he doesn't do that, he stops his growth, and essentially kind of falls back to what he was doing before. That's what I feel. I think he needs that job. I think he needs to go away. I think he needs to do that. And I think if he stays there, he's just gonna be Lawrence from before. He's gonna fall back to old habits.
I don't think he's gonna fall back into old habits. I think he's come a long, long way from the guy he used to be, and I don't think he ever would let himself get back to that point. He seems pretty confident and comfortable with, like, even that other episode where he's like, he realized he enjoys bringing other people's like dreams to fruition. Whoever says that, but it seems like he's found the person he wants to be. So I don't think he would backslide to bum ass Lawrence anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he would backslide, but I think he also wouldn't turn away from the opportunity to grow. And I think, like, it's still San Fran and LA are like, I think like a couple hour drives. I think it's like the same drive.
It's like 3 hours, I think.
I think it's like 3 hours from like us driving to Orlando or something. So their relationship could work in that way, and who knows? It may. I don't think they'll go that route in terms of like a long distance. I feel like they'll just break it off or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I don't know. I agree with Mike. I don't think he's gonna backslide to become Bum Lawrence or anything. But I also don't think that they're gonna maintain a relationship after maybe this episode, the final episode.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And we finally had that conversation about mental illness that we decided that it had to happen. So how do you guys feel about that whole interaction?
With her and Nathan. With Issa and Nathan.
Nathan, a bum ass nigga. That nigga's such a hater. I hate Nathan.
He was such a hater.
No,
I didn't like that.
He is the type of guy I hate the most. That's the type of nigga I hate the most. What I did to you? Nothing. Just so you get some pussy? Nigga. Jesus Christ. You gonna throw another nigga name in the dirt. Somebody you don't even know. That's just crazy.
But you don't do that shit? You never done that shit?
Never.
No, man, I would never do that.
I feel like there's a code. You don't have to like kick a guy's back in to get a girl. That's crazy.
Unless he fucked over the girl, then yeah.
Nah, man.
I'll back that
Even
guy.
if you know how many times I've told a girl. You know how many times I've told a girl to go back with a deadbeat? I tell her to go back with a deadbeat before I say no. That nigga's not good for you.
No, you say that, Mike, because you don't want them. You're like the guy who catches the fish, and you're like, all right, let me put you back in the pond. Like, you don't give a fuck about these girls, Mike. Mike, you don't give a fuck.
There's
Mike,
rules
you don't
to
give
this.
a fuck. Mike, you don't give a fuck. You literally just you catch and release.
Nah, man, there are rules. There's no need to. I forgot what he was saying. Oh, that shit was pissing me off.
Well, he was saying, that guy you cheated on.
How do you even start a conversation like that, nigga? What?
I'm like, what are you doing, man? And then he starts banging on him about that. I'm just like, where are you going with this, dude? She cheated on him. Like, he has nothing to do with the situation.
This nigga so
like,
mad he not gonna get. That shit was pissing me off.
I didn't like it at all. He's being a little bitch.
Yeah.
He lost. He was mad because he lost, though.
So he tried to hate one last ditch effort to see if you could get some. No, that shit don't work.
But I guess it is good though that they had that
that conversation, because I mean, even we didn't really know what exactly the mental issue was.
Right? Yeah, of course.
But with him having, what was it? He's bipolar.
He's bipolar, right?
Yeah.
Did you get the sense that he was bipolar?
Never.
Right? That feels like it came kind of out of nowhere. I mean, I guess it looked like he was dealing with something, but maybe he was just really good at hiding it. But I just would have never guessed he was bipolar.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, when people think bipolar, they think like anger issues. They think like hotheads or something. And it doesn't really have to necessarily be that way. It could just be like just how you feel from day to day.
I don't really think of it as
could be
anger.
happy at once and
I
low
just
at
think
the
of it
other.
as like dramatic mood changes.
Right, and yeah, but I'm saying like usually like at least in TV, I guess, and maybe media, it's always viewed as like someone like that who like just has random mood changes, or like they have spirals, like they're happy, they're sad, like they just have like they'll have bouts of anxiety, like they're just all over the place, and you're just not sure why. Like it doesn't have to, but the thing is, I agree with you. I don't think they've ever shown him, because he looks like the only indication that he has gone through something is the fact that he said, I went through something. That's it. Like there really isn't a moment where like you look at him and he's like, since he's been back, there's never a moment where you'd be like, oh, you okay? Like I don't recall him ever having a moment of like the waves of like how bipolar is at least like described.
Not at all.
It's always
Or
been like
even before that.
a steady, like it's always been a steady, like who we know of Nathan now, and in every episode, it's pretty consistent.
Pretty much.
And I was thinking, I was like, they could have like maybe, but that would be so TV. So I guess, and what Insecure does, it doesn't follow tropes. It could have been like maybe one day you see him like taking his medicine, or you see him like taking a pill.
Well, he
but
just
then,
found that out right now, though.
He found out when he came back, so he could have been on his meds already.
Sure.
But then again, like then that would be so cliche, and then obviously like with a show, like you could always think like, oh, he's on something else, or he's doing something else, or like, oh, is it antidepressant, or is it like a whole bunch of other issues. So
I feel like they could have gone the route of him being like, oh, I'm not feeling it, or I don't feel like doing that, which is something people typically do when they're in a down moment.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like somebody going angry or somebody trying to do something crazy.
No, that's right.
You could have just been like,
I agree.
I'm not feeling it, like I'm just there, type of thing.
Yeah, but they never showed a moment like that.
They never did.
Yeah, they never showed a moment that he like wavered in his like emotions, or he had bouts of changes in his emotions. He was pretty consistent character, but it could have been something that was maybe mild, or we don't notice it. Like it's this is just one character that like literally like we only see like sprinkles of. Honestly, it's kind of like the whole, I forgot the friend's name who has a baby, who clearly might have postpartum, but we don't know because we never see her. So it's one of those things where like,
is it Tiffany?
Tiffany? No, Kelly is the other one. Kelly is
Kelly's the fat one.
Yeah.
So it has to be Tiffany then.
Kelly's the fat one.
Yeah.
We live in a different time now, man.
Yeah.
It's okay, all right. I guess it's the only the chubby one. You guys want to go with the chubby one?
She's big
She's the loud one.
She's the funny
one.
one.
Like,
Wow,
it's all wrong. It's all wrong.
all negative. She's the funny one. She's the comic relief one. Man, dude, you looking at it.
Issa's funny. You can't say the funny one because Issa's funny.
No, but if I were to tell you who's
Molly's funny,
who's the funniest person? Nah, Molly's not funny. Get the fuck out of here. If I were to say who was the funniest person on Insecure, it'd be Kelly.
Her brother. Her brother's funny as well. Every time he comes on, I'm laughing though.
Yo, her brother's
every
hilarious.
single time. the conversation they had on the phone this episode was epic.
He ain't give a fuck about
you got what you pay for.
He ain't give two fucks about her problems, man. Yeah, you get what you pay for. Leave me alone.
Oh man, it's so good. But yeah, Orlando, that could be anybody, man. Funny people abound in the show. The lady that with the kid, she's funny. In
Tiffany?
her building, her tenant.
Oh,
But
she's
you,
funny.
but
Lisa's
you,
tenant.
but,
She's
alright,
funny too.
But the thing is about we all know who we're talking about. Like all of us,
because we already established who we're talking about.
Exactly.
But if you would have just said, if I would have said, oh, the funny one, and you guys would be like, oh, this girl, because there's a lot of funny people in the show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, we already know who we're talking about. So you could have just been like, you could have used the that descriptor of it's the funny one. Because we all know out of the 4, she is the funny one. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I mean, depends who you ask.
Good point.
But yeah, man. So yeah, they somewhat brought in the mental illness, and it kind of talked about it briefly, but I guess they didn't. It was cheap, I guess you can say.
You think
it did
so?
feel a little cheap.
Yeah, because I mean, he just said, "Oh yeah, I have it." I'm like, "All right, cool," but a lot of people have that. So how are you gonna show other people that you have that, and how are you gonna talk about it, and how are you gonna?
Well, I think now that that it's out there, I think now they need to display it a bit more and need to show that side of him, because then like you can destigmatize people who have it. I mean, who are.
I don't think he's
bipolar.
gonna come back though. To be honest with you. I think after this episode, he's not coming back.
But I don't know. I feel like that would be a waste of like, I don't know. I mean, the show feels so real, and it's not so tropey that like, I guess maybe you're right. Like maybe he won't come back. But if you're gonna do something like that, like yeah, give it more weight to what it is, and like flesh it out a bit more. But
yeah. All right. Any last thoughts, gentlemen?
What do you guys think of so he had that supposedly he had that conversation with Condola. Like, do you think that's over? Like, is it completely over? What do you guys think?
I think so. I think it's all right.
I think so.
I don't think I saw anything of him kind of revealing that he was still doing that, I think he pretty much kind of focused a lot on Issa, especially with the montage they gave us.
Yeah,
and
I trust him.
Yeah, and I think also like they're both aware that like if they're getting back and they're trying to work things out, they're not gonna try to fuck it up. Like Lawrence wouldn't, especially Lawrence. Lawrence is the one that lost Issa, and then decided to move out. Like he's the one that was never really over it. Like I think out of the two, like Issa could have been moved on eventually. I think Lawrence was the one that was still like stuck in limbo. So I think now that he has a chance to be back with her, I don't think he's gonna ruin the opportunity to that just from some girl he dated for a few weeks or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Or a few months or whatever.
He wouldn't throw that away.
No.
Right, exactly.
And plus, black men don't cheat, man. He got this.
Black men don't cheat. Mate, we talked about cheating in this episode.
Listen,
this
man.
podcast. You
What?
never
I don't know what
cheated?
you're talking about. Black men don't cheat. That's what I do know.
I don't know about that.
But yeah, that's it. Your last thoughts, Mike?
But no, that was it. Good episode. Nathan's trash. Molly's trash. There's a lot of trash people.
There's a lot of trash people here. That is very true. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this conversation of Insecure Season 4, Episode 9. Next one is the finale. It's over, gentlemen.
Damn. This feels like this episode is coming quick.
This shit went by so fast.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought about the episode. Do you agree with Mike? Is Molly and Nathan trash?
Absolutely.
Something to ponder. Till next time.
Something to ponder. Not really.
Outro.
Later, guys.